I work in an industry where the hardest thing you can ever get, is honest, quality, respectable feedback. Right? Because when you're out in the street, and wherever I go, and I've had my own show for, I don't even want to mention, like 11 years in the afternoon, 15 years overall. And you do get people, because we're on a different satellite channel, right? And we're on in different markets. The Doug Gottlieb Show, weekday afternoons, 3 to 6 Eastern Time, 12 to 3 Pacific, on Fox Sports Radio or foxsportsradio.com, the iHeartRadio app as well. You get people like, man, I love you on Colin. When are you getting your own show? Like, man, I have my own show for 11 years. You know what I mean? And then you'll get other people that only listen to your show and never hear you on Colin or like both. But when you're out in public, no one ever says the things that people say to you on Twitter, right? No one ever is going to go like, Gottlieb, you suck. I would prefer dead air to you and you fill in for Cowherd. By the way, that's not really quality feedback. Right? You suck is not quality feedback, nor is your awesome quality feedback. Quality feedback is like, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like, here's an idea for how you can make what I didn't like more what I like, right? And there are actually gentlemen who do it for a living. Right? There's a guy named Rick Scott. And Scott Masteller, who I used to work with. Great, unbelievable feedback. Bang, 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 bang. I listen to this, listen to that. You won this quarter hour, half hour, whatever. This is good. Bad tease. Throw this away. Do this again. It's amazing. But here's the interesting thing about feedback. And I'm sure you have this at your job. Man, I just wish somebody would tell me if I'm doing a good job, I'm doing a bad job. I kind of wish I had somebody who'd come in when I make the presentation to the doctors. If you're in like Stryker, like medical sales, when I sit down with that, I kind of wish there was my boss with me, but not my boss, just somebody who could say like, you know, you came on kind of strong here. You're weak here. Do this better, more of this, less. Like, who doesn't want feedback? Until you actually get it, right? I made the statement, and there was some talk last year this time. You know where LeBron James should go? He should go to the San Antonio Spurs. See, LeBron James has never had a Hall of Fame caliber coach. And Greg Popovich is arguably the greatest coach in the history of the NBA and inarguably the most accomplished coach and respected coach currently in the NBA. And with that, he should go to the Spurs. You combined the greatest player of this generation with the greatest coach of this generation and form of force field. That was the idea. And what I said to Colin then, when I said to you now, is that would never work. Because the first rule of playing for the Spurs, the first rule is you got to get over yourself. And LeBron James is a lot of things. He is a magnificently talented basketball player. He's a great passer. He's not even a true pure scorer, and he could very well end up the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. That's how good he is. But you know what he's not? He is not over himself. Nor will he ever be over himself. I mean, even hey, I'd really like Tyronn Lue to coach me. Tyronn Lue knows how to coach LeBron James. Do we think he's given LeBron James true feedback? Everyone says they want feedback until they get feedback that says, that's not any good. Your way of doing it is not the best way of doing it. The feedback most people want is, hey man, you are awesome. More of you, less of other people, right? That's a very natural thing. We want affirmation and confirmation. We don't want somebody to make us feel like what we've been doing, what we have trained ourselves to do, somehow isn't good enough. The key to succeeding and excelling in life is taking in feedback, which is coaching. Are you willing to be coached? Are you willing to step out of your own ego, get over yourself and go like, hey, how I've been doing it might not be the best way. Maybe there's a new way. Maybe there's a better way. Which takes us to Green Bay. Matt LaFleur is the new head coach. To be totally candid, I'm not sure most of us could have picked Matt LaFleur out of a lineup before he got the Green Bay job. Hell, the truth is, most of you can't pick Matt LaFleur out of a lineup after he got the Green Bay job, right? But he comes from the LA Rams, and he's a quarterback guru. There's a full story written by Mike Silver. Now, Mike Silver works for the NFL Network. He's a longtime NFL writer. He also has a long-time connection as a Cal Bear alum with the greatest Cal Bear alum football player, Aaron Rodgers. Wait to hear this quote from Aaron Rodgers to Mike Silver. It's a conversation in progress. I don't think you want to ask me to turn off 11 years of recognizing defenses. We have a number of check with me's and line of scrimmage stuff. It's just the other stuff that's really not many people in this league can do. It's not like a humble brag or anything. It's just a fact. There aren't many people that can do at the line of scrimmage what I've done over the years. I mean, obviously, Tommy. Right? He didn't say Tom Brady. He said, obviously, Tommy can do it, no doubt. Peyton could do it. Drew can do it. Mahomes will be able to do it. Ben has called the 2-minute for years. There are just a few of us who've done it. It's kind of second nature. And it's just the icing on the cake of what I can do in this offense. Matt LaFleur said, Aaron and I have had some good talks, and we're going to have a lot more. And one thing we have to work through is the audible thing. We're running a system I first picked up while working with Kyle Shanahan in Houston a decade ago. We never really had a quarterback who's had complete freedom to change plays at the line of scrimmage because that's not really the way the offense is set up. But I mean, this is Aaron Rodgers. He's had a lot of freedom to make those calls, and deservedly so. Now, how do we reconcile that? And we get to a place where we can put him in the best position to succeed. Basically, the Kyle Shanahan, which is now the Matt LaFleur system, right? And if you've worked with Kyle Shanahan or, if you worked in LA or you worked in San Francisco, if you worked with either one of those two guys, that somehow you're a quarterback guru. And part of this is on Brian Gutekunst. I can't even say his last name, and I'm not going to try. Gutekunst. There we go. Did I do it? Gesundheit? Gutekunst. Who's the general manager of the Packers. Like, shouldn't this have kind of be vetted? Like, hey, Aaron Rodgers likes to call the own plays at the line of scrimmage. That's kind of Aaron Rodgers. And I'm sure at the time, Matt LaFleur's like, yeah, we got audibles. We got one play or the other play, and you pick the plays. And somewhere in between the two is the soft landing, right? Aaron Rodgers wants to call any play he wants. Matt LaFleur's like, no, you can call A or B, not C, D, or X, Y, Z. But dude, Aaron Rodgers, can you at least see how it goes for, I don't know, one practice against live defense in a full contact drill in training camp? Could you see how it works in one preseason game? Could you maybe let it play out for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 games in the actual NFL season before you deem it to not bring out the best in your skill set? I've been doing this for 11 years. That would sound like me, right? This guy named Jerry Madelon I used to work with at the old place. He now does this for a living. And if he gives me a write-up of things he liked that he didn't like, that he gets paid to do, and I go, Jerry, I've been doing this for 11 years. There's no more arrogance that's saying, I know more about this than you do. Hey, wasn't the whole idea of changing coaching staffs to get somebody who could coach Aaron Rodgers out of simply freelancing all the time? Wasn't that the whole idea? What was that? I was on the show. I've heard all the different commentary. Wasn't that the whole thing? And the thing for Aaron Rodgers is either you want to be coached or you don't want to be coached. And to not wait, we got through one set of OTAs, one set of mandatories, and you've already deemed this as, they ain't going to let me audible. Let me go to my favorite writer, who's a sycophant for everything I do. Look, Silver thinks Mike Silver thinks that Aaron Rodgers walked on water. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen him walk on water. And as I told you, there's a cow connection. If you go and look at the Twitter avatar for Mike Silver, it's him getting blown off by Aaron Rodgers running off the field. It's been that avatar for like a decade. So the second I don't like the new offense, I go to my favorite writer. I complain about the new offense because I don't get to audible the way I want to audible. Tommy gets to audible the way he wants to audible, and Ben gets to audible the way he wants to audible, and all these other guys get to. Why don't I get to audible? Matt LaFleur is saying, like, dude, I've been here a month. And by the way, Matt Ryan won the MVP in the system. And by the way, Jimmy G got the biggest contract at the time in the history of the sport in this system. And by the way, we just went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff in a form of this system. Like, can you give it a couple of months? Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be coached. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want feedback. He wants a new coach to come in and go, hey, Aaron, listen, I know I've been studying this game for my entire professional life. I know I was hired for my offensive acumen and my quarterback working skills. But here's the whistle. Here's the clipboard. You do it. Because you've been doing it 11 years. You want to call defensive plays too? Because, you've 11 years, you've been a quarterback, so you know what the defense should look like. You know how they should move around and trick quarterbacks, right? I mean, Tommy does that. And Ben does that. Like, what are we, 7 or 8? Like, this is what I have with my 10-year-old son. Why do I have to go to bed? Devin goes to bed at 9:30, like, because you go to bed at 8:30 because you wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. If you go to bed at 10, you wake up at 6. You go to bed at 9, you wake up at 6. You go to bed at 7, you wake up at 6. And if I get you in bed at 8:30, you're not asleep till 9:15. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. I've been a parent now for over 13 years. And oh yeah, because I said so. Sorry, got to play that card every now and then, because I said so. But to superstar Aaron Rodgers, who didn't like the fact that his previous coach felt like wasn't that smart, didn't work that hard, kind of mailed it in, right? That was the whole narrative that came out of Green Bay about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's not that smart. He's kind of lazy. He mails it in. Aaron Rodgers freelances back there because he doesn't have that good. All the routes are the same. There's not that much thinking. All right, we brought in a real legitimate coach who really wants to kind of change and evolve with you. Nah. I want to do what I've done for 11 years. Because Tommy gets to do what he's done for 11 years. And Ben gets to do what he's done for 11 years. And I was like, I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's incredible. Incredible. But this is a lot like the Kyrie Irving thing. Like, look, just because you're a 10 doesn't mean you need to walk around like you're a 10. Oy. One set of workouts, one set of OTAs, and kind of limited by this whole, I only get to pick from 2 plays instead of the whole playbook thing. Hey, dude, you got to pick the whole playbook. How'd it work out for you the last couple of years?
Hi, I'm Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, and you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel where you can hear and see me. Why not? Plus, everybody else who's awesome here in Fox Sports Radio.